Good afternoon. This is Miss V with topics of what's hot and what's not in cultural psychology. As I mentioned before, I have a web page. On that web page, KV Motivational Corp, C-O-R-P, speaker.com. You can scroll down to the bottom. There you can send me an email directly. And today's topic is so intricate that this will be a three-part series to spank or not. What I am going to do is read to you a letter that was sent to me. And there are so many aspects of this letter that need to be addressed. Thus, we will have a three-part series. The first part today, we will be addressing the mother. Then we will be addressing parenting styles. We will be addressing marriage family. We will be addressing the developmental stages. And then finally, we will address positive negative reinforcement, which is all part of the classical conditioning era. So the letter reads, Miss V, I am a white man married to an African American woman. We have a marvelous marriage. We have two beautiful children, a 12-year-old son and a 6-year-old daughter. As with all marriages, we have some conflict, but for the most part, we can work through them, except for discipline. My wife came from a family that uses corporal punishment, whippings. I, on the other hand, believe in punishments without whippings. I cannot tell you how many times I hear, and I quote, I got whippings as a child and I turned out just fine, end quote. Can you please enlighten me on this way of thinking? Which do you believe in? So we're going to start with the wife. We're going to talk about horizontal stressors as well as vertical stressors. Horizontal stressors are things that we experience through our development into adult and then later senior citizen. These are stressors such as college, leaving home, getting married, having children. Those are considered horizontal. But now your vertical stressors, these are stressors that have been passed down from generation to generation. And this is the reason I chose to deal with the wife's issue first. I'm going to give you a little history lesson. There was a gentleman in slavery by the name of William Lynch. Mr. Lynch figured that in order to keep slaves from running and to make them behave, that he would use a tactic. And that tactic was, when a slave misbehaved, he would gather all the slaves on the plantation, and at that point, he would tie the slave that had misbehaved, to a tree, thus whipping them. And by whipping them, this made all of the other slaves afraid. And so, thus, whipping came into play. And the reason that I say that this is a vertical stressor, because what it taught the slaves is that in order to make someone behave, you needed to whip them into shape to get the desired behavior. Now, during slavery, this was brutal. They would literally whip the skin off of the slaves, letting the other slaves know that if you do this, this is what's going to happen to you. Now, as the generations of African Americans have it passed down, they adopted this concept of whipping the children. When the child misbehaved, they were whipped. And oftentimes they were brutally beaten. Now, I must say, there is a difference between whipping and spanking. And so for now, we will end this section on that note. And stay tuned for part 2 of the series, To Spank or Not to Spank. And if you are enjoying the podcast, by all means, I invite you to subscribe and to like and to please leave comments and to go to my webpage, kvmotivationalcorpspeaking.com, scroll down and to send me an email. And I promise you I will address your issues. Thank you and God bless.